99-cent super chat donation with no comment. Thank you for that, Noah. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone, to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Tonight, I will be discussing Smackdown Live from Jacksonville, Florida. I will also be discussing, also from Jacksonville, Florida, earlier today, the All Elite Wrestling Rally. So after SmackDown review, I will discuss All Elite Wrestling. Stay tuned. Do not turn off your live stream. I'll be here for a while. We got Caitlin, Kayfabe Candy Ass, TJS, Noah Foster. Much of the NoDQ Galaxy is already here in the chat room. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's talk about SmackDown Live. The show opened up in a very entertaining way. By the way, Big G is here as well. We had Daniel Bryan in the concessions, and he went on this hilarious rant about the food and beverage that is served at WWE events. He said that the fans are eating garbage, food, and drink to try to fill the void in their lives. He took this popcorn and soda and shoved it in the faces of a couple of the fans there. Bryan was great here. Bryan is just doing a tremendous job with this character. I love it. I thought that this was a very entertaining way to kick off the show. He had the hot dog. Bryan was just great here as usual. He came out through the crowd and said that people need to change. He said the people are weak, they're submissive, they're impotent, and he pointed at a bunch of fans. The fans were just very happy to be acknowledged by Daniel Bryan. The whole thing was very entertaining. Bryan got into the ring and then was jumped by R-Truth, which led to the first match of the evening, which was Daniel Bryan versus R-Truth. Pretty much a squash match. Daniel Bryan dominated it. Bryan was slapping him around saying, "You're the problem." Bryan ended up winning with the running knee. And then as Bryan was heading to the back, he was attacked by AJ Styles. And this felt quite similar to Monday Night Raw with the Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley brawl, where you had AJ attacking Bryan. The security guards were trying to pull AJ off of Bryan. But overall, this was a solid opener. I did enjoy it. And then before we even got to commercial, we had Rey Mysterio come out, and that led to the next match, which was a tag team match. Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali versus Samoa Joe and Andrade Cien Almas. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. I love the work between Mysterio and Almas. The two of them just have that chemistry. I love that Canadian Destroyer that Mysterio did to Almas. And why is Big G saying I forgot R-Truth versus Bryan? Didn't I just talk about it? I said it was a squash match. Botch, Big G. I did talk about it, so you got to pay attention, son. So yeah, I really enjoyed this match. Samoa Joe, I think he needs to do something with his hair. I'm not a fan of it. I did like that fallaway slam to Mustafa Ali, but I think it was really the back and forth between Mysterio and Almas that really stole the show. And then we had Almas counter the 619 into the underhook DDT or hammerlock DDT, whatever it's called, to pick up the victory. So there you go. Nice little victory here for Andrade Cien Almas, gaining a little bit of momentum. I liked it. I thought this was a really solid match. Almas got over, and Mysterio got over in defeat because he just had a really good showing. And we have good old JM, Jeff Meacham, in the chat room. All right, JM is here. And Big G, I guess, is just going deaf and he completely missed it. Maybe the YouTube stream is acting up. Who knows? But I did talk about Daniel Bryan and R-Truth. If you blinked, you probably missed the match anyways. Jeff said, I will be in and out. All right, Jeff, he will be In-N-Out. I'm not sure if he's talking about In-N-Out Burger or a different type of In-N-Out. I'm not sure what Jeff's talking about, or maybe he's just going to be running different errands during the live stream, which is probably what he's doing. Ken, terminated by Google with a $2 super chat donation, says, Rift almost counted the 619 into a modified GTS. And Tony H with a $2 super chat donation says, Mustafa Ali and Rey Mysterio future tag team champions? Possibly. I mean, I think it would be a nice change of pace. I'm definitely getting sick and tired of New Day, Bar, Usos, that combination. We need some fresh blood in there. So, yeah, I would like it. When I think of fresh blood in the tag division, I'm not exactly thinking of Shane McMahon and The Miz, but I'll get to that here in a few minutes. So we had a Carmella promo to hype up the match. She said that everyone's overlooking her, but when she was champion, she beat Asuka twice, she beat Charlotte twice, and to be fair, Carmella did really good on this show. Her promo was good, and her performance in the match was one of the best ones she's had in her entire WWE run. I thought that she actually came off really strong in the main event, so I'll talk about that more in a few minutes here. No New Day on this show, which I'm like half sad because last week I loved the Scott Steiner math promo. And by the way, well, I guess I shouldn't say anything about Scott Steiner yet. I'll wait on that. But I was hoping maybe we would get some kind of cool, obscure reference from New Day, and I keep having this hope that maybe we'll see them drop the stupid pancakes routine. But nonetheless, it was a nice break. I mean, New Day's been on a lot lately, so give them a week off. I was fine with it. We had Becky Lynch and Charlotte do promos for their match that aired later on in the show. We had an Usos promo to set up their match. They said that you need to step up or get stepped on. We had The Miz backstage complaining to Shane, why are they not getting an opportunity at the tag team titles when the Usos are getting a match against the Bar to potentially get a title opportunity. And Shane is like, you know, he has abused power before, but he doesn't want to do it now. And he wants to do it the right way, blah, blah, blah. Then we had a Rusev promo in the ring. Rusev was upset about Lana getting hurt and said he's there, standing there as a husband. He's standing there before everyone as a husband. And he said he is going to crush Shinsuke Nakamura for what happened. The crowd was chanting, Lana is the best, Lana number one. Maybe people just cannot hear me. Braden says, am I the only one that cannot hear Aaron? So maybe there is some kind of technical difficulty, and that's why Big G did not hear it. Anus Itch says, dude, why are you watching wrestling at your age? What a loser. Yeah, I am totally a loser. You were right about that, Anus Itch. You know, I just magically pay the bills here by picking money off of a tree, you know, and I just watch wrestling 24/7 for no reason. Anyways, we had Shinsuke Nakamura in the production truck, and Shin said it's not his fault what happened, and then he had the production guy show the footage from last week with Lana getting hurt, and then Shin said, you were the one that crushed Lana. And that led to Rusev saying if Shin's not going to come to him, he's going to come to Shin. So he went backstage, and we had Nakamura jump Rusev, ambush him. He took the big production case and shoved it into Rusev several times, and that was the segment. So I guess they're fighting at the Royal Rumble. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for that, TJS. Good job doing the moderation. I appreciate it. So then we had Usos versus the Bar. This was weird. Oh, we have Sun Gashuk, who I still cannot pronounce the name. Josh is here in the chat room. He says, interesting that they would have Rusev chase Nakamura after he refused to come out, but not Braun when Brock refused on Raw. very good point there. And yeah, that's hashtag WWE logic for you. I still thought it was incredibly dumb on Raw when we had Braun Strowman just stand there instead of going after Lesnar. Yeah, very good point there, Josh. And I apologize for butchering the name again. I am terrible at pronouncing names, as many of the viewers know by now. So we had Bar versus Usos. Bar came out, and then we proceeded to have the recap of the Hulk Hogan Mean Gene Okerlund segment. I don't like how WWE does this. It's just so silly to me because the Bar come out and then they're just standing there in the ring for 5 minutes when the Hogan promo is playing. Why do that? Why not just show the video package recap, then have the Bar come out, then have the Usos come out and do the match? Why do you have them stand there in the ring for 5 minutes? It just bugs me. I know it's nitpicking and it really should not matter, but it grinds my gears. It bothers me a little bit. I just find it irritating and I don't understand the logic behind it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'll just leave it at that. So we had the Usos come out, and then apparently they have new shirts. I'm not even sure. Caitlin said they had new shirts. I was not paying attention. We had Corey Graves make a little reference, I guess a little subtle reference to the Elite by saying that all the tag teams in WWE are world-class elite, and he did make an emphasis on the phrase elite. So there you go, a nice little nod to the Elite on SmackDown Live. So this was a fairly lengthy match, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching these guys wrestle, but I'm fed up with it because we've seen it so much and I want to see some change. And also, I was thinking, you know what? It's either really obvious here that the Usos are going to win, or we're going to have this long match and then they're just going to lose and that's going to be it. So I wasn't really all that invested. I would have rather had seen a different team face the Usos, but I get it. WWE wanted to tie in two storylines together. So in the end, I guess it was okay. I just think maybe the match should have been a little bit shorter. I know the guys can go, but if you're going to do a screwy finish, maybe cut the match down a little bit, maybe a few minutes shorter. I don't know. I just felt like it dragged a bit, and I just wasn't that invested in it because I was expecting the Usos to win, but it didn't happen. We had Mandy Rose come out in her towel, and she was asking about her shorts or something, parts of her outfit, asking Jimmy Uso if they were at his hotel room. So because of the distraction, that led to Cesaro hitting the neutralizer and picking up the victory for the Bar. Yes, Tom, Braun Strowman is still injured, and Rico, it's Penn and Teller, great comedians / illusionists, and I highly recommend checking them out. And apparently TJS has a thing for blondes. Who knew? So we had Miz come out after the match, and he made a big deal out of the Bar winning. He congratulated them, and Miz basically challenged the Bar to a match at the Royal Rumble. Josh Mansfield with a $2 Super Chat donation. Wow. Aaron Rift is the Nia Jax of NoDQ. Josh, hashtag Josh for NoDQ. Wow, you actually compared me to Nia Jax. That might be the biggest diss I've ever received in the history of NoDQ Live. Wow. I have been served, and I don't even have a good comeback for that. Calling me the Nia Jax is pretty much the biggest diss that anybody can do at this point. I'm 300 ounces, as Kayfabe Candy Ass puts it. I probably am, although what is it, like 19 pounds? So I'm not that tiny. So we had Miz challenge the Bar for Royal Rumble, and he did mention 50,000 fans at the stadium in Phoenix, which is interesting because Elias on Raw said 40,000 fans. So what is it, 40,000 fans or 50,000 fans? That's a 10,000 fan difference right there. Now, of course, knowing WWE, they are going to announce in advance that it's going to be a big number. They're going to inflate the number more than what it's actually going to be. And then at the show, they'll say, yeah, we have 50,000 something fans, 50,400 fans or something like that. DJ Whitey with a $5 super chat time. He says, I'm at work and missed SmackDown Live. Was Asuka on this show? And why the hell is she even champ? She still isn't the same since the streak ended. Well, she was on the show at the very end, and I will get to that in a few minutes. But yes, she did make a brief appearance at the end. Dustin Herrick with a $5 super chat donation says, Rift, you're so impotent. The Daniel Bryan meaning, not when Caitlyn says it about you. Sorry, brother, had to. Wow, what is this? Roast Aaron Rift night here on NoDQ Live? For crying out loud. Well, I guess thank you for the super chat. I mean, I do read all the comments, but I feel like tonight's all about roasting me. Josh Mansfield is like, you guys know I'm just trolling Aaron. He's great. Just love messing with him. Yeah, this is Roast Aaron Rift night here on NoDQ Live. Anyways, let's move on here. Now I completely lost my train of thought. Wow. Good job there. Nicely played. So we had the challenge made, and then the Bar responded by a Sheamus bro kick. And then we had Cesaro and Sheamus accept the match for the Royal Rumble. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat donation says, Aaron is a poopy head. Well, that is a much nicer comment than the impotence one. I will say that much. So we had Naomi attack Mandy Rose backstage, and then Sonya Deville went after Naomi. The two of them were taking her out, and then we had Jimmy Uso make the save for his wife, and that was the little backstage follow-up to the earlier segment. DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat time says, shouldn't have shaved your head, dude, ... no DQ beanies. Well, the thing is, now my head gets colder because of the winter weather, so I need a beanie with the short hair. So if anything, I should buzz the hair so I can make more use of the no DQ beanies, right? Michael Wayne says this chat is weird when the roast came in. You're telling me. And Tony Braden just had a message retracted. I'm not sure what that was. I just completely missed it. So backstage, we had Daniel Bryan cut another promo. He said he doesn't care why AJ attacked him. And then he said that AJ might think he's vicious, but he's not half as vicious as the new Daniel Bryan. And he yelled it. I love this promo. It was a throwback to the 80s with the old-fashioned screaming promo. This was great. Daniel Bryan was the star of this show again. Bryan has really been reborn. I mean, he truly is the new Daniel Bryan since the whole heel turn, and I think it's been fantastic. It's definitely what he needed. He has a new fire. I love it. He was just stale with the whole Yes character, and yeah, his comeback was a great story, but he's just doing so awesome as a heel now. I love it. Santos with a $2 super chat donation. Aaron for AEW GM. He did spell my name wrong, but thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. No biggie. Ken terminated by Google with a $2 super chat says, not going to be disrespectful. I like you shaved Rift. Okay. Fair enough. Let's move on here. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, shaved or unshaved is fine with me, to be honest. And I'm the same way. I agree with Kayfabe Candy Ass, just saying. So, we had Shane McMahon and Miz backstage. Shane said that they need to train. Miz said that they don't need to train. They're already ready to go. And then Shane was like, all right, let's do it at the Royal Rumble. They did a fist bump. So there you go. Miz and Shane McMahon to face the Bar for the tag team titles at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which is weird because Miz and Shane did not actually earn the title match. Whatever. Okay. I thought Shane was all about not abusing power. So, yeah, this was a bit confusing. Then we had the main event, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Carmella. Like I said earlier, I thought Carmella did great in this match, and this was probably one of her, if not her strongest singles match. I mean, there may have been one or two other matches that were better, but they were multi-person matches. As far as, having a limited number of participants, this was one of her best matches, if not her best match. And, she was actually taken seriously in this match for the first time in a while. Tony H with a $2 super chat says, Miz should team with Nicholas. Dude, do not give WWE ideas. And Chris Cass is here, by the way, Medium Cass, who lost Wrestling Trivia Challenge. He was my pick for the tournament. Thanks a lot, Chris Cass. Good thing I did not have money bet on the tournament. Otherwise, I would be a very sad panda right now. So yeah, I thought Carmella looked great here. This was a very good match, very solid main event. We had Carmella do a moonsault to both of them for a near fall. We had the natural selection to Carmella, but we had Becky make the save. And then eventually Becky tapped out Carmella with the disarm her to pick up the victory. So this was the original match that was advertised for the Royal Rumble. WWE actually did announce the match on main event with a graphic. But then they backtracked on it, and Paige said that it wasn't going to happen yet. By the way, where's Paige? I thought she was going to have a new role in this new era. We haven't seen anything from Paige since the big change was made. So yeah, sucks to be Paige right now. I would assume we're going to see her back very soon. Oh wow, and even Caitlyn's roasting me tonight, which, yeah, I'm not safe from anybody. She says, good thing I did not have money on you, Aaron. Ha ha. Right. So yeah, Becky Lynch, Asuka, it is set for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We had Asuka come out at the very end. There was a little confrontation, and that was that. So there you go. Becky Lynch, Asuka, Royal Rumble. What does this mean? I don't think this necessarily means that Charlotte's winning the Royal Rumble. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean that, number one, Becky's going to win the title back. And number two, it doesn't mean that Becky cannot lose to Asuka and then enter the Royal Rumble and win it and challenge Ronda Rousey for WrestleMania. So it's certainly possible that Becky could still lose. Maybe Becky wins the title and then enters the Royal Rumble and wins the Rumble too. And then you have champion versus champion at WrestleMania. I mean, that could definitely happen. So there are a lot of ways that this can go. It doesn't necessarily mean Becky's not winning the Royal Rumble. But anyways, I thought it was fine. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It's keeping people guessing, which is a good thing. And Caitlyn, she just left a $2 super chat donation with a heart. Of course, that money goes right back to her, but it is what it is. But I do appreciate that heart. That was very thoughtful of you, Caitlyn. All right, so letter grade for SmackDown Live. And I guess I'm getting roasted a lot in the chat, and I'm just trying to not get sidetracked too much here. Virtue says I would keep the money. You would, man, you would. I thought it was a good show. Not the best SmackDown Live, but pretty solid. I am going to go with a B. I thought it was a very solid SmackDown, good show. B is good. I really am enjoying Daniel Bryan. I think that's definitely been one of the highlights of SmackDown lately. And we've had some solid build up for the Rumble. Main event was good. I enjoyed the tag match with Almas winning. So yeah, we had some storyline advancement, not a lot of filler. Very solid show. Kayfabe Candy gives it a 5.5 out of 10 hot unshaved goth babes, and TJS says B for blonde. So yeah, TJS really has a thing for blondes. There you go. All right, so let's talk about All Elite Wrestling, which had their big rally in Jacksonville, Florida at the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium, which is down the street from where SmackDown was being held at the arena. And we had a few surprises. We had some announcements. One announcement was that Double or Nothing, the first pay-per-view under the All Elite Wrestling name, which is the follow-up to All In, but this will be the first pay-per-view under the AEW banner. This pay-per-view will be taking place Saturday, May 25th in Las Vegas, Nevada at the MGM Grand, which I believe has a 17,000 seat capacity. So they are moving on up. You know, that arena, the Sears Center in suburban Chicago, that was about a 10,000 seat arena, so they're stepping it up. If there is a NoDQ meetup, I will probably not be there. I am going to be very busy at the end of May. I wish it was a week sooner. I would have probably tried to make it happen, but the end of May is going to be very hectic for me, so most likely I will not be going unless I somehow can squeeze time to do it. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. I'd love to go, though. I mean, it is an easy flight to Las Vegas, but of course you got time issues and other things to consider, so we'll see. The other announcement, well, there was a series of announcements. The other show announcement was that they will be doing regarding why I don't think I'm going to make it. We do have another pay-per-view that will be taking place in Jacksonville, Florida. They did not give a date for this show. However, it was announced that the proceeds, or some of the proceeds, will go towards victims of gun violence. So there you go. Gotta love the chat comments. You guys are too much. Ain't happening that soon. I'll just say that much. So we had the two pay-per-view announcements, and then we had a couple of surprise appearances. I mean, we had the usual appearances. We had SoCal Uncensored show up. Basically all the people that we expected to be part of All Elite Wrestling. We had SoCal Uncensored. We had Hangman Adam Page. We had Britt Baker come out. All of them talked and cut promos. We had, what's his name? The MJF or something. I'm not sure the acronym for his name. Dustin with a $2 super chat donation. JR and King AEW commentary, good or bad? I think they need to go youth oriented. As much as I love JR and the King, you gotta do new people. You don't want to just have a nostalgia kick. So I think that would not be a good idea to do that. I would love to see them. I mean, I don't think they'll get Ronaldo away from WWE, but man, if they could get Ronaldo, that would be fantastic. That would be pretty amazing. Conrad Thompson, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some suggestions for people. No JBL, no Mike Adamle. Now people are just being funny here. So yeah, we had the usual crew. Cody came out, talked about how there's going to be better pay for the wrestlers. And I think the indication is that, I think Tony Khan brought this up in an interview, that they're going to try to treat the talent as employees instead of independent contractors, which means that they will have full health benefits. So we'll see if they're going to be able to sustain that business model. That is going to be more expensive for them, but you know, that is something that fans and talents have been wanting to see for a very long time. Seeing the wrestlers actually be treated and classified as employees instead of independent contractors. So that's great. I mean, that is very cool for the talent, and we'll see if financially AEW can sustain that business model. So that was one announcement that is, considered to be a potential game changer. Another one was when Brandy Rhodes came out and talked about how there will be a women's division in AEW. And not only that, but they will be paid equally as men. So I will talk about that here in a second. Tony H with a $2 super chat. What are the chances that CM Punk goes to AEW? I would love for that to happen, but unfortunately, I have to go to my tried and true answer of highly unlikely in all likelihood. I would absolutely be ecstatic about that, because that would probably break NoDQ.com, and that would be very good for business. And this loser who just talks about wrestling all the time would be very happy for more than one reason, if you know what I'm saying. Power Packers 90 with a $2 super chat donation says, All Elite Jericho, competition is real. I mean, let's face it, CM Punk paid for my first wedding, and if he came back, that would probably pay for a second one, which would be very nice. So anyways, back to the All Elite Wrestling rally. The women will apparently be getting equal pay as the men. So what does this mean exactly? Does this mean the undercard women will be getting paid as much as, let's say, Kenny Omega, if he ends up with AEW, which my gut feeling is he will? Will a lower card guy get paid equal to a main event female star? I mean, I don't understand how that's going to work exactly, because, I mean, historically, you pay the biggest draws. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. You pay the biggest draw. I think the problem over the years is that the women were never really given the opportunity to be pushed as strongly and marketed as strongly as the men. And as we see in WWE now, the women are getting pushed harder. They're getting the main event spots. They're getting more of the spotlight than they were in the past. And I'm sure Ronda Rousey is being paid very, very well. And Becky Lynch, with all the merchandising and everything that's going on with her momentum, she's probably making more than most of the male roster at this point. If she's not, then that's very unfortunate. She should be. Becky should be getting paid very significant amount of money because she's definitely one of the highlights of the brand right now. So we'll see how this works with this equal pay and what this means exactly, how they're going to do this. Interesting comment by Brandy Rhodes, and we'll see how things play out with it. Again, the equal pay, the health benefits, it sounds good on paper, but how do you execute it? How do you sustain it? It's easier said than done. So we had a few surprises, a few surprise signings to All Elite Wrestling. The first one was the man formerly known as Neville, now known as Pac. He came out there and he put his name in the hat for a potential opportunity at the All Elite Wrestling Championship. Tyler says, what does Pac even mean? I don't know. I never liked the name Pac, just for the record, just because you have X-Pac and he's just plain old Pac. Like, is he Z-Pac? Is he D-Pac? Is he N-Pac for Neville? I never liked the name Pac. You know, you have Tupac, you know. I'd rather he had a different name than Pac. Yeah, I know that's the name he used before he became Neville, but I don't think it's a very marketable name, quite frankly. Yeah, I know Pac was his name first. I just think it's a crappy name. That's all. Pac-Man. I like that, Virtue. Pac-Man. Oh, man. So, Pac, Neville, whatever you want to call him. One Pac, two Pac, three Pac, whatever. He is going to be in AEW. And then the big surprise was at the very end when we heard the Judas song, and there you saw him in the flesh. Chris Jericho is officially part of All Elite Wrestling. Jericho said it's not about the money for him. He has plenty of money. He wants to be out there. He wants to do something new and different, and that's why he's there in All Elite Wrestling. And he said they're not just going to change the world, they're going to change the entire universe. So there you go. Chris Jericho is officially working for another company in the United States that is not WWE. Impact Wrestling tried for over a decade to get Jericho, and despite Cyrus being there, who's a close personal friend of Jericho, they could never make it happen. AEW could do what Impact Wrestling failed to do for over a decade, and that is sign Chris Jericho. How does Vince feel about this? I mean, he might be personally feeling betrayed a little bit, but at the same time, Jericho has publicly stated that he has told Vince everything, and he probably gave WWE a chance to counter the offer and maybe give him some kind of creative control or something. And Vince is like, well, you know, just do what you got to do. It's no big deal, that sort of thing. So I don't think Vince is sweating it too much, but I think we all like to think that maybe Vince is freaking out somewhere and is crying his eyes out over Jericho joining AEW. But my guess is he's probably not sweating it too much. So Jericho's part of AEW. It's a good start for the company. Doesn't mean they are going to be competition for WWE. They still have a long way to go with that. So far, so good. It was a solid rally. I'm looking forward to the next event, and we'll see if they can get a TV deal. If they could get like on Netflix or something, that I feel could be a real game changer. I mean, you look at, like, I don't know what's happening with the TV deal. I've heard rumors that there are a few networks and companies that are interested. But I think Netflix would be really significant because so many people use Netflix, and Glow has been successful on Netflix. I mean, I think it would work out really well for them as far as getting exposure goes. But and Netflix could really capitalize on that market, knowing that there are people that do want an alternative to WWE, and Netflix can say, hey, we have the alternative to WWE. So yeah, I would love to see them on Netflix. If they could get a great TV deal on a top station, you know, that would be great too. So we'll see what they're able to pull off. I mean, I'm guessing they'll get a better deal than Impact at this point. I don't think we're gonna see All Elite Wrestling on Pursuit. Let's just put it that way. So good for them. AEW off to a good start. They did have a few hiccups with the streaming. It did freeze at one point, but they fixed that. For the most part, the stream went off good. They had their pyro, and so far so good for them. And it's provided some good news on NoDQ.com, some traffic. So, you know, I feel like we're starting to have a period where fans are getting interested in wrestling more, and we got more people talking about it, intrigued about the possibilities of what's going to happen. I mean, it's definitely a good thing for the business, and I hope they succeed. So that's pretty much all I have to say about All Elite Wrestling and Smackdown. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sure on the NoDQ review, we'll talk more about this and get more opinions from the NoDQ panel, Team NoDQ. So stay tuned to the NoDQ review this week coming up on NoDQ.com. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest news regarding WWE, All Elite Wrestling, and everything